Welcome to the InHer Circle podcast with MsHoliness, bringing you a dose of inspiration from the ground to greatness, starting now.
Welcome, people of purpose. This is the InHer Circle podcast, episode 6, entitled Watch Me Work. Yes, episode 6, entitled Watch Me Work. So, I am MsHoliness, and I am happy that you decided to tune in with me for a dose of inspiration. But before we get started, I want to do a recap of last week's episode. So last week we talked about being afraid of flying. Being afraid to fly, which essentially in essence meant that you were afraid to move to that next level where your dreams and your purpose was concerned. And I hope I did you all some justice, by way of inspiration through encouraging you to endeavor to begin to fly, to take flight so that you can begin to soar at a whole nother level in this season where the vision and the dreams are concerned, that you might bring purpose to fruition in a more excellent way right here, right now. So, all right, you guys, let's get into today's episode entitled Watch Me Work. All right. So for today's episode entitled Watch Me Work, there's this adage, you guys, this thought, this connotation that a lot of times when you are pursuing purpose, you will have people throwing daggers in your path, all right, by way of sending hate your way. Now, I know we always like to say our haters are our motivators, okay, but not only are your haters your motivators, but they are your loudest hecklers while you're trying to focus and accomplish things and get things done. I, per se, had a trying week coming into this weekend. I had so much negative energy being thrown my way that I could develop those people with the light on. They were so negative. But I just want to say, no matter what's coming your way, continue to work. Continue to let the people witness you work. Despite any and all of the hate that they're throwing down in your path, despite what they're trying to do to block your opportunities, despite what they may be saying about you out here in these purpose streets, to get other people to look at you in a different light. I want all of you right here, right now, to just be encouraged and to keep killing the game, no matter what industry you may be in. No matter if you're a creative, an entrepreneur, a visionary, a dreamer, a seer, whatever you are, whatever it is that you do, continue to do it like you're doing it for TV. Let them watch you work. So you guys, with that said, I just want to kind of talk about this one instance in particular that stood out for me this week, So if many of you are connected with me on social media, you guys might see me post an occasional trip. You guys may see me post an occasional handbag, little different things, little pop outs. And I don't pop out too often. I try to be as meek and humble as possible because I don't like to draw any negative attention. I know a lot of times if people look over at you and see you living at a different level, it breeds hate and envy. And that's the one thing that I never wanted my life to do. So I am humble. And sometimes I'll do a humble brag, a little humble pop out. But it's never to brag on me. It's to brag on the goodness of the God that I serve, because you guys know that I'm a Christian, a devout Christian in nature. And I'm just always so thankful to God when he blesses me. When he blesses me to be able to get a hold of a bag, okay? Rather that's a physical bag or a financial bag. I'm just always so uber thankful and excited. And sometimes I like for you guys to share in that excitement with me. And that's why I give you the vacation pictures and posts. That's why I give you, the new purchases and stuff like that. That's why I give you the excitement at times. And it's for people to share in my happiness. But I've been noticing that it's been quite the opposite. Like I got into a little battle of words, okay, with someone here recently concerning some PPP loan money. Now, y'all know I always like to say the people who took the PPP, watch out, the feds coming. I made all kinds of jokes and stuff, which it essentially wasn't a joke because I foretold that people taking those PPP loans was going to later come up against some heavy scrutiny by way of federal indictments. So that was something that I talked about on my MsHoliness Rights page, as well as on my personal page, because I had gotten that insight from God. A lot of people like to call me an intuitive, but I'm not. I'm essentially a seer, somebody who sees and hears clairvoyantly on behalf of God and delivers a message in such a way that what I foretell happens. So no, this ain't no psychic energy, But at the same time, I personally didn't take any PPP money. And I just think it's sad that because I recently connected with a few people and they're not familiar with me and my brand and who I am and what I do, because at the core of things, I used to call myself a Christian socialite because I felt like, okay, God gave me the name MsHoliness. So he separated me and set me apart. So I didn't do ministry as usual like everyone else. Like I would go out to networking events, to different business functions and different things like that, and essentially make connections there and, tell people who I was, what I did, and how I do it. And they would begin to follow me on social media, and stay connected to me and get interested essentially in the brand and in the ministry that I oversee. So that's what it was. So, the Lord makes ample provision for my life. Now, were there times where, like everyone else, I had some rough seasons that I had to endure, or a rough season? Absolutely. I always give everybody the testimony, the account that for a space, I was losing everything but my mind. And that was over the course of like 7 years. That was a long time to be, going through some changes. But by the grace of the God that I served, he brought me out triumphant and victorious, and he brought me out restored to a greater degree than I was before I started experiencing all of the crazy. That's what I like to call it. But, people who have been following me and who have been with me, for a long time, they're privy to this. But people who most recently started following me, they just assume that this is PPP money, which I think is so bizarre that people would actually think that it would take PPP money for you to actually be able to enjoy your life. Aside from PPP money, those loans, some people already had a good quality of life. They were already traveling, already shopping, already just enjoying life, however that looks to the person. So for me, my enjoyment looks like ministry, inspiring people, taking vacations, bags and shoes. I'm a female, okay? That's the only BS I like, bags and shoes. So, things like that. And, splurging on my family where I can, where advantageous. But no, people, I was kind of offended by the young lady accusing me of trying to flodge with PPP money. All right? As I would never. As a matter of fact, I don't even flodge at the degree or at the level that I could. I don't. Most people who know me and who are connected to me on social media, you can see I'm a pretty humble, laid back person. I pop off occasionally when I need to, when it's advantageous, when somebody like just is really pushing every button that I got and ain't got no more buttons for them to push. Then they get a whole nother version of MsHoliness. All right. So that's that. And I'm going to come right back after the commercial break, and I'm going to dive into some more.
And now a word from our sponsors. Nerd Boy Rich Clothing for your hottest urban streetwear. MHW Creations, servicing all your literary needs. And Ace the Weave Doctor, hair extensions done right. For sponsorship opportunities, inquire within. And now back to the program.
So yes, that was a word from our sponsors. But yes, you guys, I'm back here and I'm talking about Watch Me Work. Now, the reason why I chose to title this episode Watch Me Work is that people seldom know your work ethic. So in turn, they need to watch you work to really understand who's before them. So it's not like a watch me work like a gloat. It's like watch me work because no, I ain't over here working with no PPP funds. Wish I could have got some. And let me say this, any free money that's available, I would like some of it, okay? I'm not a person that turns down much, all right? I don't turn down much but my collar, all right? But yeah, I just want people essentially to watch my work ethic, okay? Rather than be me doing work for the kingdom, natural work, whatever kind of work. I'm the kind of person that gives everything that I do 122%. And it is the case that most people of purpose who are prosperous and operating at a whole nother level do. They have crazy work ethics. They don't let nothing stop them, nothing slow them down. They don't take no days off, etc., etc. Although I always let y'all know that this is not team no sleep over here. Only time I don't sleep is if I got to be up praying. But yeah, it's really self-explanatory. I put in the work over the years. I have several degrees. I'm degreed. I don't just have a pedigree, but I am degreed. And I pride myself in my writings. Now, essentially, I have a company entitled MsHoliness Writes. All right. So even though God gave me the name MsHoliness, I essentially formed it into a brand and into a company. So it's so much more than just, me calling myself MsHoliness. It's so much more than me just wearing the name as a representative for the body of Christ, but it's a brand too. And it only became a brand because I write. Because I ghostwrite. I write books for myself. I write books for others. I do content creation for websites, for companies, for people, period. You know, I've had many different kinds of contracts that I've worked on over the years pre-COVID. And now I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. But my most recent venture here is this podcast, okay? So I've been dedicating a little bit more time to it while still holding everything else down. But that's to say, like, I didn't get where I am today by the grace of God because I don't put the work in. I'm absolutely putting the work in. And I wasn't the kind of person that just strolled up, created an LLC, and all of a sudden tried to get over on the government and scam them down for some PPP loan money. That's not my forte. And, you know, more power to whoever did it. To each his own, but that's just not my thing. So I just wanted to, put that out there. That made my week kind of trying. Having to defend myself against a fellow believer. I got to say believer because I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. Having to defend myself against a fellow believer who was in turn hating, okay? They was throwing hate in my path, hate and shade. And they just assumed that I was out here flogging, which means trying to show off with PPP money. So no, a show off, no, that's not even my personality type. As a matter of fact, I don't like to be in the spotlight. I do like to be low key. Like I always tell people, speaking has even pulled me out of my comfort zone because I wasn't a person who liked to be in the front. I like to be in the background. So no show off here. No PPP loan money here. No, none of that. But I just want to encourage and inspire all of you out there to drown out the loud noise, okay? And don't entertain people who are coming to throw hate and shade down in your path as you pursue purpose in your path forward where destiny and purpose is concerned. I want you to manifest every dream that you have pondered upon in your mind. I want you to bring all of the vision to fruition and excellence. And I want you to do so, like I said, while drowning out the loud noise, all right? And where you have to, disconnect from certain people. Like I had to essentially block that young lady. No biggie, no sweat off my back. Didn't know her too well anyway, And we just don't have time for people who are coming to be combative and who are essentially coming to throw dirt on your name. At the core things, I just want all of you to leave off of here with the mindset that you're going to let them watch you work, okay? Watch you work. No matter what's being sent your way that is adversarial, no matter what is being thrown down in your path to stop you or to distract you, continue to let them watch you work. So with that being said, now it's time for our hot button topic. Hey! Yeah, so for today's hot button topic, you guys, we're going to be talking about Miss Wendy Williams. Classic mix-up. Now, at a point, I just wasn't into Wendy Williams. It took some years for me to finally be like, oh, okay, I kind of like Wendy. She's cool, And at the core things, I started listening in on her show. And this is well before her and Kevin, her ex-husband, went through whatever breakup and cheating and all that stuff. But when that happened, I grew a greater love for Wendy, because of the strength that she exuded through her trial and tribulation and hardship. But here recently, Wendy Williams ruffled a few feathers, even mine, all right? Not to say we birds, but, figuratively speaking. And she kind of went on this tangent about Tabitha Brown, all right? Now, Tabitha Brown, she's an actress. And I wouldn't say up and coming because sis has arrived, okay? Like she got her own seasoning for cooking. She's doing the Goli ads for the apple cider vinegar gummies. She's on the show The Shy. Like she's killing the game. And she's a really cool person from what I can see. And she does these little miniature inspirational talks to encourage people to get up and to keep on going. Like she's really a sweetheart. And she's a believer like myself. But, you guys, Wendy Williams saw a loophole, saw an occasion to come in and I guess give Tabitha some advice concerning her marriage, where I really don't think she's the poster child for marriage, but I guess she was trying to weigh in off experience. So allegedly, Tabitha retired her husband, okay? I read somewhere where it says they had been married for I think 15 or so years. I saw where they had been married for 15 or so years. And she was saying how he supported her dreams throughout the duration of the marriage and how now that she's made it, she want to pay it forward. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. But Miss Wendy Williams, y'all, she was all up on her show talking about how the woman need to watch that and compared her marriage to Tabitha's. And they said Tabitha came back and read her. I don't know if I'm able to play the read here on my show, so I'm just going to leave it out. But I'm going to play Wendy Williams' portion for you guys to hear, and you weigh in and let me know what you think.
But there's this woman, her name is Tabitha Brown. Oh, you know her? Clap if you know her. Okay, good. I don't know her. Well, she's an influencer, and she's saying that she's retiring her husband. He's been a police officer for 15 years, and he wants to live out his dreams. Take a look.
I have said to him, babe, it's time. It's time. It's time for him to dream again. It's time for him to think like a child and think, ooh, when I grow up, what do I want to be? And it's something else. It's time for a new journey, a new chance at life, right? And God has blessed us. He has blessed me that I can retire my husband.
Nope. I was married to one of those. You know, I make the money and so on and so forth. Go live your dreams, buy a business, you know, stay with me, but go. You see how that turned out. I predict that this marriage is going to be on real rocky ground in a moment. Live your dream. Then they invest in stuff and they lose the money. And then they invest in something else and the money gets swindled or stolen. Then they invest again. Then he comes home and throws his bag down. And he's like, and she's like, what? And he's like, I can't do this. And this is your fault. You're over here making all your money and stuff. You had me quit my job. And I can't find my live like a child. No, but you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, no, you work. Being a cop was a big part of his identity. He liked it, but she came to him and said that. Clap if you understand what I'm saying.
So that was the little snippet from the Wendy Williams show, you guys. And you heard her tell the people to clap if they understand what she's saying. And they gave her a little dry clap. I mean, it's her show. They have to do audience participation. But all I got to say to that is there was a bunch of hockey. I can't say the word I would like to say. There's a bunch of crap. That's better than hockey. You know, Wendy Williams' relationship and Tabitha's relationship with her husband are two separate relationships. They're not simultaneous. See, I can't really speak on Wendy's marriage because I wasn't in it. But from what I see, Wendy's ex-husband was a dog, all right? How he was portrayed in the media, moving through the streets of Manhattan and everywhere, up in North Jersey with the woman who he had the baby with. And I don't see where Tabitha's husband is moving like that. And besides, if he was, and if that woman still endeavored to want to, retire her husband from being a police officer, that's her prerogative. Like, Wendy ain't got nothing to do with that. And we don't need her weighing in with her 2 cents, especially when she's had a failed marriage. Like, what exactly can you tell this woman? This woman, Tabitha, in my opinion, every time I see her, she looks happy, honey. Happy. So apparently her husband is doing something right. He's keeping that smile lit on her face. And let me weigh in and tell y'all what I'm feeling about the situation. So I just feel like Wendy ain't have no dog in that fight. She shouldn't have weighed in on that woman's marriage, okay? She need to mind her business. And that, like Tabitha, if I was engaged or married and my husband had put in work and made sure that I was able to chase my dreams and supported me, heck yeah, when God put me on, I'm going to make sure my husband be okay. And I'm not just going to be like, oh no, like this is my money. You still have to work. Yeah, of course, if he's chasing his dreams and building the vision and you're the help me, you have to help support this man's vision for y'all life. So, of course, if he's dream chasing and living out a dream, that dream is going to have some ends connected to it, which means whether he's pursuing his dreams as an actor, an entrepreneur, or whatever the case may be, he's going to be making some money on the back end. So we look at it like it's an investment into both of our futures. So Wendy Williams, no. That'll be a no for me, ding dong. Like, that was a ding dong moment. All right, that was ding bat of the day moment. So I just want to commend Tabitha Brown on her brevity in today's times where people are being judged so heavily by other people, namely women by women, on having enough courage to openly talk about how she's going to retire her husband, her man, the love of her life, her everything, who has supported her when she had nothing. I'm glad that she's endeavoring to support this man in his dreams, okay? And I pray that everything works out in their lives to the degree that Wendy Williams gets to see them prosper and flourish by the grace of God. And she can take that word curse she put out on Tabitha and her husband and shove it where the sun don't shine. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Well, that concludes our talk for today. Thank you for joining me for episode 6 of the InHer Circle podcast entitled Watch Me Work. With questions and comments, text 484-393-2730, keyword the InHer Circle Live. To connect with the InHer Circle podcast, follow us on Twitter at the InHer Circle _, on Instagram at the InHer Circle _ podcast, and on Facebook at the InHer Circle podcast. For sponsorship opportunities, email us at inhercirclepodcast@gmail.com. Well, this is MsHoliness signing out. I look forward to you joining me for the next episode where I aspire to lift you higher.